What should the public do in emergency situations like this? And to help us out with that, we have here in the studio Crisis and Emergency Management Consultant Martin Aguda. Good morning, Martin.
Thank you for being here.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning. You
Good
must
morning.
be a busy guy.
Oh, yeah.
So many questions happening.
Right. And as we were just talking about earlier, this is a rare case because it's an incident within an incident.
That's
where
right.
you have an armed suspect roaming around plus a fire going on. So tell us more about this. Is this an isolated incident? Has it ever happened before?
Yeah, well, emergencies will always be like that. But emergency responders, law enforcement responding to the scene should recognize that an incident within an incident. So as you have mentioned, it's an active shooter scenario or an armed person. I cannot just say active shooter because he didn't went to the shooting spree, the usual.
Yeah.
But there's an armed person and there's also a fire, which was started by the perpetrator. In that case, you have to deal with that immediately because of threats of life safety. But dealing with that separately, there's a separate protocol when you deal with active shooter. Like the public should do the run, hide, and fight.
Okay, this is with an active shooter.
Yes.
Okay.
So run, hide, fight. You evacuate,
All right.
or you barricade yourself,
All right.
and keep quiet. And if no choice, last resort, you engage, you fight.
So they did that. I mean, some of them, they ran and they hid.
Yes.
Now what happens, there was a fire that
Medyo
happened.
napasama pa nga doon.
Oh, yun.
Kasi na-suffocate dahil pagtago nila, they went to a place and then yung fire, Boss Martin, yun nga, di ba, doon sila na-suffocate. Tama
That's exactly my point. There's an active shooter. You have an action drill to survive that.
Okay.
Run, hide, fight. And
Okay.
you have a fire, which is an action drill that requires immediate evacuation to the nearest fire exit.
Right.
So you have to do some decision making, which is very difficult during that time. I cannot judge them.
Yes.
It's either you hide and have the risk of suffocation from carbon monoxide poisoning, or you run with the risk of being shot.
Yes, but they didn't even know that there would be a fire happening, right? So their first instinct was really to protect themselves,
Yep.
possibly hide,
possibly,
and
yes.
not know that, nako, may sunog pala.
That's right.
But
That's
one
right.
day, I guess, when they started seeing
Or
the smoke or smelling the smoke, what are you
should
supposed to do at that
Exactly.
point?
Well, smoke is the #1 killer in fires, especially the toxic gases that it emits. You have your carbon monoxide and maybe the materials in the structure.
vicinity, yeah.
For example, your carpet
Yes.
would emit a dangerous toxic gas called hydrogen cyanide. In small amounts, this could asphyxiate or oxygen delivery to the body will be affected. So that would be dangerous being trapped in a structure like that
Sir
with
Martin,
toxic gases.
Aside from preventing it, we're here sa attacking sa toxic gases na banggit mo nga. Pero kanina we're talking about it. You believe that security should be trained dun sa crowd management also, di ba? Dun sa
Crowd management, meaning, so, because usually there is a stampede.
Oo, kasi
People
nagkakagulo na eh.
panic. So how are you supposed to manage or control the crowd so they don't hurt themselves?
Yep, I've been conducting crowd management and emergency evacuation for security and event marshals. So, crowd management is knowing crowd dynamics. What would make a crowd move? And one of that will be panic scenario. A panic scenario is something that it's a group behavior wherein everyone will just evacuate from the dangerous place to a safer place, and you cannot stop people from running. It can be a real threat or it can be a perceived threat. Another aspect of crowd management is craze. That's different when people rush towards an attraction.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another. And secondly, the guard should understand the behavior of people. Do you know that most people will evacuate the same way they came in, even though they are beside the emergency exit door? So it's important that security and marshals will know how to guide people. Leadership is very important during emergency cases.
Lead them to the fire exit
fire
or
exit.
the different exits
Yep.
within the vicinity.
As well as give them the correct information and the things to do how to survive that particular scenario.
Paano yun? kung if it's loud, it's noisy,
Yeah.
how are they supposed to speak to everyone?
Wala ka ng presence of mind nun.
Actually, that's
Mga
part of their training.
Mm-hmm.
First, you have to have the correct situational awareness, meaning you have your radios, you know what's happening, and there's a direction from the command center on the situation and what to do. Security guards should be trained on those things.
Any other tips for the public? In case of an emergency like this, it could be a fire or also an attacker. Any other tips that you want to remember?
Well, I want to share two words: situational awareness. Situational awareness is a term, is simply stating being aware of your surroundings. Meaning, if you are in a public area, you're aware of the nearest fire exits. And situational awareness also being security conscious. In the U.S., they use this term. The U.S. Homeland Security coined this term. If you see something, say something. So I think in these challenging times, all should have their part in keeping the public safe.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
being
Boss.
with us
Thank
this
you.
morning, and of course, helping us with our crisis and emergency drills and things that we might need to do
Thank you.
in the future.
And again, we just had Crisis and Emergency Management Consultant, Mr. Martin Aguda.